Welcome, world. We are live from Stage 7 today from Glamis. This is the final base camp of the Rebelle Rally. This is a live show presented by Lexus, and today we are so proud to be powered by Total Chaos here in Glamis Dunes. Welcome, my name is Rochelle Croft. I'm here with Matthew Johnson. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning in the dunes.
We can see it there. The sun's coming up. The colors are pretty, echoing off the tops of the dunes. You can see the colors building there. It's just, I ask myself why I'm not in the dunes more often when I'm out on mornings like this. Just beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful. So speaking of the dunes today, we have the very own Nicole Pitell from Total Chaos. Her and her team come out here every year since day one to help with this Glamis Day. They help Emily with the course. They help drive it. They offer amazing components for your vehicle with vehicle suspension, and she is here. She would love to chat with you, and then she's gonna buzz out here on course.
Yeah, she gets out on course and is out there all day getting our media where they need to be and at some of the more difficult checkpoints. So we're going to look at this quick piece about Total Chaos and then see if we can get Nicole in the chair here and wrangle her for a couple minutes before she shoots out on course.
Pavement is optional. Total Chaos equipment is built for travel. Introducing our newest project vehicle, SeaBiscuit, a Lexus GX 460. It combines luxury interior with performance off-road components. It's outfitted with our newest suspension package, designed specifically for KDSS models. Explore more.
So anybody who knows Total Chaos is aware of the actual source of the chaos, and I'm sitting here with her. It's Nicole, one of our most colorful and fun folks to hang out with out here in the desert. Nicole, I'm so happy you're here today. What are you looking forward to today?
I am super excited to join the rally at the end. We've spent over a month and change plotting this course this year, and it has been epic to follow online. The whole staff has kept an eye on you guys and everything going on. We had some great winds blow through here last weekend, so the dunes are super like butter. They're blown out very well. They got a little bit of moisture, so we're just super excited to go out, support the teams, support you guys. You guys have had a grind all week, but we're pumped.
Awesome. I tell you, at home I love ripping around in my 4Runner with a lot of Total Chaos kit on it, but I have some longing eyes when I look over there at SeaBiscuit. Can you tell us a little bit about SeaBiscuit and what SeaBiscuit is?
We added a 2021 Lexus GX 460 to our stable.
Okay.
It's KDSS equipped. We wanted some hands-on experience learning that particular suspension platform. We're super excited. Emily's driven it all week since Hoover Dam. We've had limited time right now behind the wheel of it, but I'm super excited over the next year to pre-run the 2022 rally in it and really get used to the saddle.
Well, when I go, because I have a, not identical clearly, but the same color GX 460 sitting there, so maybe I'll just accidentally land myself in the driver's seat of SeaBiscuit and go rip around a bit later. So tell us about what you're driving today.
I'm actually driving Morocco Taco. It's a 2014 Tacoma equipped with a Total Chaos 2-inch long travel suspension system. It is what myself and your wife Chrissie competed in Africa.
Yeah.
It's been containered to Africa twice. It's kind of a go-to source. Very well equipped. We'll be stacked with media. We have Michael, our assistant in R&D. And he's driving media as well in a 2013 four-door Tundra. And then we've also got some additional staff that's going to be shuttling multiple people around for you guys.
Cool. Tell us a little bit more about the culture of your company, how your company works.
We're a startup. Simply, we're a group of renegades. We like doing things unconventional and different in regards to most manufacturers in this industry. We're an extremely passionate group of people, and we just really we appreciate our customers. We like to lend a lot of customer support. We pride ourselves on our technical service behind the phones, and we're just a great group of friends. Many of us have spent going on 17 years together. Super pumped to have taken a concept from a garage and made it a global brand.
One of the things I love the most about coming to your shop is you can walk from the packaging and shipping area straight into where the guys are welding stuff together. It's not like you guys have stuff CNC's cut and then have it sent out for welding. Like, you're doing the welding in-house, and seeing that looks really cool.
Absolutely. We are 100% made in the USA products. It's not been an easy business model to sustain, but we want really from the very inception of our company, we started as desert racers, and when you compete in Baja, you really damage parts, and we like to focus on original equipment from manufacturers, light modifications. We try and own the platforms, determine what works and what doesn't. If there's parts that need some reinforcement or that we feel that we can make better with suspension, that's basically what the business is founded on. We really like to abuse our equipment, and we stick with premium products.
Now, tell us really quick, you focus on Toyota and Lexus, but what other manufacturers do you carry?
We offer almost all domestic. Ford, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Chevy. So our mid-travel systems are available for everything, Dodge, but we specialize in Toyotas. From 1986 to present, we've turned wrenches. We really understand the independent front suspension design, and that's just our forte.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to run into you out on course today. We're going to have keep a look at this drone video while we get Nicole out in her truck and out on course. Thanks for some time with us this morning.
Absolutely, MJ. See you guys in the dirt.
Yeah. Awesome.
That good? Okay. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone.
That was a great chat with Nicole. I hope you were able to hear some of that, but she's fired up as usual.
As usual. I think this is one of her favorite days of the year. It's like Christmas for her. And her team do so much for the Rebelle, so it's always so fun to see them out there. Their whole crew drive our media around to get those amazing photos that you see out in the desert and all those Total Chaos equipped trucks, and it's really fun to see them out there whipping around the desert.
And the reliability and consistency of having them here, we know that we can grab them on the radio or a tracker and get them to go check on a team, and they can get to that team quite quickly because of their just skill and experience here in the Imperial Sand Dunes.
Yes, it's a really efficient way to make this dune course very safe, as they know this place like the back of their hand.
I'd like to point something out really quick. We're watching the solar trailer, or we're watching the Renewable Innovations trailer there on the left side of that drone shot. You can see some solar panels there. I hope we're going to see the solar flowers open up later. That's the big modular solar panels on the sides of that, or on the front and end of that trailer, and they will deploy themselves when they detect enough sun coming up this morning. Those ends will slowly tilt up, deploy, and then aim the big flower at the sun and track it all day. So base camp is mostly quiet here as a result of Renewable Innovations there, and we're going to talk to them more later today, but it's such a cool partner to have here. Obviously, they're also powering some of our electrified vehicles. Shall we talk about yesterday?
Let's talk about yesterday. It was a really close rally yesterday.
It was. We had a new stage winner.
We sure did. There they are, Stage 5 winners of the 4x4, Emmy and Rebecca. So fun to see them on there. They won it yesterday by 1 point.
That shows you like how tight the competition can be, often is. I mean, they won it over 1 point with 189 versus 188.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points out there, and for it still to be that close, what is that, 0.5%?
Yeah,
right.
I don't even
Okay.
know. It's not much.
Right. It says 98% for both of their scores there.
Yes, you're right. And I think their Rivian was just operating really well. Everything was clicking for them yesterday. They came rolling in all smiles. They're pretty excited for
we
today.
heard that some of the suspension issues had perpetuated through the week, and they finally got fully fixed before yesterday's competition. So they were in full sorts yesterday. Not to overlook here, Shelby Hall and Penny Dale 1 more point behind Nina and Tara Lynn yesterday. So the top 3 teams only 1 point apart as you step down to 3rd place there.
Yes, so Hall and Donaghy, 189, Barlow, 188, and then Hall and Dale with 187. That is tight.
If you look at our scoring online and click on day 6 and click on Group A 4x4 there, you can look across and see the differences. You can see precisely which was a different performance for different teams. Right down there, though, Laura Wineless Maria guitar doing really well yesterday, 5 more points behind, but in the overall, they're still in a strong position. It's looking like we can start to see the shakeout of 1st and 2nd, place in this event. But there's still lots of ways it can change here. The Dunes Day never disappoints.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. So this day, and all the teams are very aware of this, especially that top team, especially the top 6 teams. They know that it can be 1 green checkpoint away. Someone goes after something technical in the dunes that they think they can drive, and they get stuck. They get buried for maybe an hour or 2 and miss an opening time, which forfeits them an easy 20 points, which everyone else gets. So it's very much all about strategy today.
Or even another step. They think they can get somewhere and break something on their car or get so buried no one, other competitors can't help get them out, and they have to call for mechanical assistance.
Yes.
And that's like a 50-point penalty. So that's
Yes.
way worse, missing 2 greens. So you can still see how 1st and 2nd place could be swapping, and we could have different names at the top of the list. But that's a pretty comfortable buffer Nina and Tara Lynn have at the moment.
Yes, and they're very smart to do that. As we said from the very beginning of this competition, if you want to win this thing in podium, you need to come out with that goal from day 1. And what they've done is they've created a really nice buffer for themselves, but I guarantee you they're still feeling all of the pressure this morning to hold that lead.
What do you think the pressure feels like when they walk around in here while the other girls are plotting? Because they're starting, the performance. Nina's had a lot of really strong driving performances before, but she hasn't won this event before. But Tara Lynn has 3 times?
I believe so.
Yeah. So being in the position they're in, what do you think it feels like walking around in there? Do you feel like guys wanting to watch their every move or watch them plotting?
Yeah. It, at least for me, it just felt like I had a big bullseye on my back all week. Everywhere you go, teams are watching you. It kind of feels like when you're out there getting checkpoints, teams are kind of turning their backs a little bit and they're like, don't look at what I'm doing. It's all in good fun, but you're the top team. People are gunning for you.
It is a competition. So more about yesterday's stage 6. Let's look at the X-Cross winners.
Awesome.
Tana and
White and Verena May. So fun to see them in that Kia. They are doing a really good job. And that was also a very tight stage by 1 point. So they won yesterday's stage by 1 point with Fisher right behind. And then Sabrina and Alyssa, only do quick math here, 3 points behind second in the other Kia team. So I think crossover is going to be one to really keep an eye on today. Those are little more tighter margins. I think there was, we were doing the math this morning, 13 points between first and second. and they're going to be battling it out today. And I know last year Sabrina and Alyssa did a really good job in the dunes. They had one of their best days ever.
They did. That's what I keep calling them, the late bloomers.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
They come on kind of slow early in the week, and then okay, I guess we'll get to work Thursday. But they are also in another Kia, both Team 206 and 205, Verena and Sabrina driving. Alyssa's driving and Verena's driving Kia Sorento PHEV that's going to be newly released in the U.S. More and more about Kia as we go. I thought their new logo was really cool, and it represents Kia rising up to the challenge of the Rebelle Rally.
Yeah, I just read that this morning as well, and they've been with the Rebelle Rally now 2 years. This is their second year, and I love that they incorporated all of that and just made a really big splash into the Rebelle. They are working really hard towards their sustainability message, and they're doing a fantastic job.
And power-wise, you jump in a all-wheel drive 1.6 liter turbo with almost 67 kilowatt electric motor. It's 261 horsepower. That sounds like enough power to get it done today. Speaking of these X-Cross cars, the sand, they've got a little bit longer hangovers than the four-wheel drive cars. That's the distance of the bodywork in front and behind the car that has to clear hills and things you go over. So the hangovers are a little bit longer. It's easier to stuff a nose into the sand and maybe break loose a bumper cover or something like that. So X-Cross cars have a bit of a different route today. They can still go loads of places in the sand, but the driver challenge is significant, I'd say.
Yes, all right. You see that 1969 Bronco there heading off the line.
I have some information about that. I got to chat with Nick last night, our lead mechanic. Nick said eventually they found a clogged fuel filter. It didn't look like a problem at first, but eventually when you're chasing an issue and chase it far enough, you find something. So hopefully they've got their fingers crossed that they finally found the culprit of that 69 Broncos not running properly, and hopefully Rochelle and Melissa are going to have a good time out on course today.
I think so. All right, what are those girls in for today?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Stage 7, as we've mentioned, is powered by Total Chaos Fabrication. This is the final day of the rally and the most challenging for those in the hunt for the podium. Traditionally, the rally has been won and lost on this day, which is why we're so excited about this day. Teams will have many decisions to make, and their driving skills will be tested as they drive and navigate through the largest dune complex in the United States. See checkpoint options steer teams into the most difficult parts of the dunes and reward appropriately. However, teams will weigh their skill against the potential of getting stuck and losing valuable time. It's anyone's game today, but smart and talented dune driving is necessary to be the most efficient and effective. A little bit about the area. The Imperial Dunes are stunning and vast. Measuring approximately 80 kilometers long and 11.5 kilometers wide, this dune complex is an open OHV area, has some protected areas to manage the restoration. The dunes are sharp on the east side and more rolling on the west side, but with some surprising deep holes and just huge vistas. When I go climbing around in the dunes and I get way up higher and higher and higher, and I'm wondering, how am I going to get out of here without getting stuck?
Yeah, these dunes are massive. This particular dune structure flows all the way down into Mexico as well. And it's an incredible, beautiful sight when you're out there. It can be overwhelming if you're not used to that, especially as you get further and further in. You can just be surrounded by dunes on all sides. And for some teams, that's very overwhelming.
Now tell me about navigating inside dunes.
It's really tricky. This is the day that the driver gets to be in charge. For all of the rally, except for dune days, the navigator is telling the driver where to go. And today is the day that those roles switch a little bit. They really have to work together. Your navigator is trying to hold that straight line because it is an open OHV area. You want to take those heading in distances very seriously. But it is impossible to drive a straight line safely through those dunes. So you end up doing a lot of zigzag motions, a lot of weaving in and out. and that driver's trying to find the safest route through there, and that can be really challenging for the navigator to try to keep up to where you're driving and where you're at to find then those black checkpoints.
Wow, it's going to be an exciting day out there. And speaking of, I hear some excitement leaving the starting line. Harry, are you out there? We'd love to hear from some teams.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, we're here at the start line with our current X-Cross leaders, Team Ford Performance, and we don't want to interrupt too much, but curious about how you're feeling about today.
We're excited. We love the dunes. The Bronco Sport has a sand mode that is phenomenal.
And you came out here and did some training ahead of time, right? So you have some seat time in this vehicle in the dunes.
Yes, we do.
We do. Yeah, I've been doing the drive-in in the dunes, and like I said, I was amazed by what this car can do in the sand. So really looking forward to some of these more challenging technical checkpoints today.
And can you tell me, so yesterday in particular, right, it was more rocky. I think both of you have backgrounds as rock crawlers, but not necessarily in a vehicle like this. So how were its capabilities out there, you know, with a smaller tire, less ground clearance than you're accustomed to?
Yeah, absolutely. It just became kind of a berm rider, and so I just used the mode. I used the rear locker to get up on the berms, and then just had to, you know, balance along the berms for a long time because the middle hump was just too tall for the ground clearance of this car.
Well, it still looks like it's all in one piece, and hopefully it'll come back today in the same shape. And congratulations on leading the rally at this point. Good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thanks.
You too. All right, back to you, Rochelle and Matthew.
Thank you, Harry. Looks like, this morning you see those teams there, they're leaving 2 in a row, or 2 at the same time. Sorry. Need more coffee this morning. There's a lot of excitement in the air. You can just feel the energy has come up today.
Well, the first teams are going to be crossing this finish line at 3 o'clock today, and we will be going live then. We're probably going to have a 2-hour show. But just to try to capture the excitement and the just relief. Some of them are just going to be
a lot of relief.
Relieved to like have made it and just so stoked that they accomplished the week that we've had.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen it before, and it's pretty common to see some tears at times. And I think you're going to be really key in covering and sharing that with them as a former winner of the event. So I'm looking forward to some of those cool interviews that you're going to get later today.
Oh, thanks. I'll do my best to squeeze all the emotion out of them at the end of the day.
Wring it out.
I'll just, yeah.
You've worked so hard this week. Just let us wring a little bit more out of you. It's great.
Awesome. There goes that Honda. There goes our Lexus. That team, I love that Lexus GX team. They are just having so much fun. They're a rookie team. They are doing this for their 50th birthdays this year. They thought, hey, what better way to celebrate turning 50 than to go do this amazing off-road women's rally for 8 days.
Which it's 8 days that feels like 68.
Yeah, I can't even remember where we started at this point.
I tease. It's fun. But earlier in the week, I did say by Thursday and Friday, you're going to feel like we're finally in the groove. I finally know where my things are when I wake up in the morning, and I have a system. But it takes some days to get that sort of feeling where everything's working. So that's the Wash Road. Looks like, and there's the train tracks on the left. At times, you'll hear a big old train go zooming by. Great. I think let's check in with Harry. Let's see if he's got somebody else to chat with.
I do, Matthew. Thanks. Yeah, we're here in Glamis, and we're with one of the Ford Bronco teams, this one from Four Wheel Parts, and we're going to see how they're doing this morning. Tori, Catherine, how's your rally going?
It's going really well. We've had a really good 2 days in a row. I think we've scored about 95 points, or 95%. And we're really stoked. We find a really nice groove. We're doing really well. And we got a big day ahead of us today, day 7 here in Glamis. We're ready to go. We've got 23 checkpoints. We're going to do our best to get hit today. And we're ready to get this day started.
Now, have you had this vehicle out on the dunes before? I know you have a lot of seat time after this week, but dunes have been pretty limited relative to what we're going to see today.
Yeah, we have a couple weeks ago, we were able to come out and train with the other Ford Bronco teams. We had a great day with them, couple days. So we're really going to use that experience and that knowledge to really help us get through the dunes today.
That sounds good. Yeah, I'm seeing your map here, and it's going to be an exciting day, right? You got your work cut out for you.
We definitely have a lot of points to get to today. We're going to try and strategize them. I don't know that we'll make it to all of them, but we're definitely going to try our best.
So we've seen some teams in the past who have grouped up when they go out in the dunes. Is that part of your strategy? Do you plan on going with other teams? Or are you going to go it alone?
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of both. I mean, we trust ourselves. We have confidence in our direction and in our driving ability. But it's really nice to have other teams out there to help spot, to really just reinforce your confidence on where you're supposed to be. We've already talked to some other teams this morning. Obviously, the 2 other Ford Bronco teams are going to be our teammates. So we're going to do our best to just stick together and hit all these checkpoints.
All right, good luck out there and have fun. We'll let you bump up in the line and head back to Rochelle and Matthew. Thanks.
We're having a blast here this morning. I am, at least, with Rochelle. It's been just a great week. It's fun to see that excitement there on the start line. And those Ford Broncos, the full-size ones, look so cool.
They do, and that short wheelbase is really going to help them out in the dunes today.
Yeah, and those entrance and exit angles. We should ask some of them what tire pressure they're going to.
Oh, that is a good question. Harry, well, if you can hear us, that's a great question to ask some of those girls. There's always different strategies around that. And in the morning, the air isn't as hot, so that air isn't going to expand as much in those tires. So you could, usually I start off the day at around 18 pounds of pressure.
Okay.
And then, but you have to keep an eye on that because as the day heats up, the sand heats up, those tires start to reinflate a little bit. And all of a sudden I would find myself getting stuck again and have to realize, oh yeah, I got to air back down because the tires are now up to 22 and I started at 18.
Well, speaking of driving in the dirt, there's some really cool dirt stuff in this Lexus LX600 commercial. It looks like it was shot during our rally, in fact, but let's have a look.
Life is more interesting when it isn't mapped out. When you have the freedom to drop everything and try anything. To follow your heart, not a script, and go where the exceptional is the rule. This is the power of the reimagined Lexus LX. Designed for adventure, it is entirely new, from the ground up. Fitted with a more powerful engine, yet retaining its legendary body-on-frame platform design. Designed for precision, it provides a pure, more seamless communication between you and the road. Or whatever road you encounter. Designed for the senses, the LX features a transformed cabin that brings unparalleled elegance to every journey. Enjoy reimagined VIP seating and intuitive technology wherever you are. To break new ground, to plant new flags, to live the life Uncharted. Because there are those who follow maps and those who draw them. The all-new Lexus LX. Luxury that knows no limits.
Hey, and look, we got a special guest here with us, Matthew, leaving the live show and coming out to the starting line with me. We're here with the current leaders, Nina and Terilyn. They've got a pretty sizable lead, so I'm curious what their strategy is today. Do you go for it? Do you play it safe?
We're just going to try to be smart. We're going to play it safe, but we're going to get what we can and try to hold those points up high.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it thus far. I think everything has been culminating today, right? You haven't made a lot of mistakes. You've both been very consistent. So yesterday came in second by just 1 point on 1 CP, but 1 point in the overall standings doesn't make a huge difference when you've worked up the sort of lead that you've had thus far. Did you do much training together in the dunes before this?
Not together.
Yeah.
We've been not together. We've been in the dunes together with other teammates and as other with other trainings and stuff. But we've trained a few times together, knowing that we were going to be a team, but not in the dunes.
But you've both done very well here traditionally in the dunes, so I would expect the same results today. Certainly, I know everyone at home is rooting for you, and this Jeep 4xe really putting it through its paces, I think, in ways that probably most people haven't seen up until now. So it's doing great, you're doing great, and we hope you have fun out there.
Thank you.
So I understand we've got Chrissie Beavis up next, who's going to drop some knowledge to us about the scoring and what's in store for today.
Thank you, Harry. That was awesome to be able to chat with Team 129. We've all, as a staff, been wondering what their strategy is today, so it's really fun to get an inside scoop there. We wish them all the best. They're going to be ones to watch today in the dunes. They're, as she said, I think that's a really smart move. They're going to play it safe, get what they can, keep that lead. That's a good way to play it. Okay, I am here with scoring director Chrissie Beavis, and we are going to chat all about the day, the scoring, how the course is laid out, maybe if just kind of the strategy and the plan behind laying out the course. I know there's a lot of points out there, and they physically, I don't think, can get all of them today. Is that correct?
Yeah, there are a lot of points out there. We had a couple interesting things today. They had to plot their own green checkpoints. So when we're in more sensitive areas, we actually plot the green checkpoints on the maps for them. And so just to make sure that they stay on the right area, and but in this zone, they had to plot their green checkpoints themselves. They were actually given their checkpoint guides last night.
Oh, nice.
With all of the green checkpoints and the first 6 black and blue. Black diamonds and blues, and it was really great for me as a scoring director because I didn't hear any complaints last night. I didn't hear anything about day 6 because they were given their checkpoint guide and they got to plot. And so they were very, very busy last night getting that plotting done. But then this morning we gave them the rest of the points. So, and they still had another 15 points to plot even after that. And so they were very busy this morning as well, plotting all of those. And then making some strategy choices about where to go. Today is really, really about the strategy on when to go into the dunes and when to stay out of them, because we kind of have these loops where you go in, get some of the checkpoints, come back out, get some checkpoints, and then go back in and get some checkpoints. And so the idea is that you can go and get some checkpoints and then just skip a next section and go and get some more. And so you have to really you have to determine what kind of dunes they're in. Are they in the really small ones that are actually very hard to drive, or are they in the larger ones, which are actually easier to drive but a little bit more nerve-wracking, right?
Yes.
And so you kind of have to just be able to read the map and see where you think you're going to go. But we also this year gave them a very low fidelity map, and you can only see very large features on their 50,000 map. So they're probably going to be using their 100,000 scale map today, which means they just don't get the fidelity that they have in the past. We found that last year we had teams strictly navigating off of the map features, and we really wanted to push them to use their headings and distances more from point to point. And so Emily really cranked down the fidelity on that map and gave them a map that has almost nothing on it, kind of thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard a few of the teams just as I walked by the tables, and I peeked over to see what they were plotting. They weren't super happy with you on that move.
No, No, they're not going to be very happy with us. It definitely it's harder, but the reason Emily did it, and I absolutely support her on it, is that she and I both have competed in a situation where we have exactly that much fidelity in massive, huge dunes, and you just don't need to navigate by the features. If you take your headings and distances and you stay on and you really keep your presence about where you are and what direction you're going, and how far off you've gotten off of course when you've had to go around a feature, and you can do it. We know you can do it. We've done it. There's a lot of blue checkpoints out there. Some of the blue checkpoints don't actually have a flag today. They're actually features that are out there in Glamis. There's kind of these famous features. There's a memorial out there. There's a swing set out there, and we're not actually posting up a blue flag. It says in their checkpoint guide, that there's not a flag to signal at the swing set.
Gotcha. Okay. I am familiar with that swing set.
Yeah.
That is a very cool thing to be out in the middle of the dunes. And the year we went out there and went for it in 2019, there was a group of guys out there with their dune buggies, and they just all stopped, dumbstruck, with their mouths hanging open, and just watched all of us girls drive in our stock vehicles. And they were like, "What are you doing with those in here? And how did you do it?"
Yep.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it is so cool what you can do with these vehicles when you know what you're doing, right?
Exactly. When you know what you're doing, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you were in the lead today, what would your strategy be looking at the course and the points that you plotted?
I would go out and actually try to get some of these morning points that are in some of the harder, smaller dunes on the base camp side, on the east side of Glamis. So when you guys are watching at home, you should be able to see some of the teams going out for those points. I'd imagine there's quite a few teams that are just going to bypass those and head over to the far side. But personally, I would take advantage of no sun yet, hard dunes, really easy driving as far as the surface goes, while you're in some of the harder terrain, and the harder terrain is on this side, and so I would go out and get those first checkpoints. So I'm really interested to see who's just going to bypass these first checkpoints. It's not that many points, but I think by the end of the day, it's going to matter. If you've gone for these checkpoints and you get those points, then I think that's going to put you just over everyone else and give you an advantage.
Okay. Well, you heard it from Chrissie herself, folks. You're going to want to watch that tracker like a hawk today. And I'm really curious. I love hearing your perspective on that. So I will be watching to see what teams head out there. I know the dunes you're talking about.
Yeah.
We have our own name for them here on staff.
Yeah.
And as do a lot of the competitors. They are not fun to drive.
Yeah.
They can, and last year they were so soft. I had a hard time even driving them in the morning.
Yep.
So the sand consistency, how hot it's been, the wind in recent weeks, it all plays in a factor to the way those dunes are going to feel and drive today.
Yep.
Okay, I think we have Harry on the the start line with another team, but I want to thank Chrissie. Thank you so much for all you do here. Thank you for hanging out all week and being the scoring director. Thank you for chatting with us in the mornings.
You're welcome.
It's really awesome to get your input on how the course is laid out and designed.
All right. Have fun today.
Thank you.
Rochelle, I think you're not the only one who has the finish line on their brain this morning. There's a lot of teams out here who've got their game face on. They're going to go get their work done and try and come back here and cool off after a week in the pressure cooker. Speaking of pressure, tire pressure is going to be really important out here today. In the sand dunes, you'll see a lot of teams air down their tires, and what that does is allows for a wider footprint. The vehicle is more apt, not only side to side, you'll see that bulge, that distinctive bulge like we see on these tires here, but they also are wider front to back as well. So what that does is gives you a lot more contact area, and the vehicle is more apt to float on top rather than sink. So we're going to talk to a few of these teams about what pressure they're running in their tires versus what they normally run on the road. So we've got Team Wild Grace here. They're currently in the hunt for third place overall. There's a lot of bunching in the 3rd to 6th range, including this team. They've traditionally done very well in the dunes, so I'm curious about their strategy this morning. How's it going, ladies?
Good morning, Harry.
Good morning. Always great to see you. And I was just talking about air pressure and tire pressure. I'm curious what you've run on the road versus some of the other terrain we've seen versus the sand today. Lynn?
So this morning I aired down to about 15 and a half. We're still cold, so we're going to get a little above that, but it at least gives me some space to kind of go down a little bit without going too low. Really want to avoid slipping a bead and losing a tire, so being a little bit cautious out of the gate. Everything else, like on all of the sort of the rough rock stuff, we were running probably around 23, 24, 25. The tires held up great. We're on BFG KO2s, so these are our favorite tires to wheel in. They're so reliable, and they've just been rock solid for us. We haven't had one problem yet, so we're hoping that goes through today as well.
Lynn, if I'm not mistaken, these are the tires you run on your own personal vehicle as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, they're a tire that I really trust, and that's what you need out here.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you bump up out in line, and good luck out there today. We know everyone's cheering you on at home. On the other side of me here is Team 143. Now, you'll recall this is the team that earlier in the week had some issues with their axle. The axle housing broke in half, and Nick Guyver is his nickname, our lead mechanic. He said, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to put it back together. And I'll be honest, I didn't have faith, but I have since been redeemed because Nick put this axle housing back together, and these women are still in it here going into the dunes today. So we're going to talk to a little bit about how that's going. Good morning. So I was just talking about how amazed I am to still see this vehicle out here. I imagine you share that amazement.
Yeah, I am just amazed and incredibly thankful the mechanics are able to keep me rolling through all of this. And yeah, it's been since day 2 that it's been broken, and now we're on day 7 and it's still going. It's amazing.
Every time you come by, I'm amazed. I will be honest, and it has been a testament to the mechanics that they have here, I think, and to your driving prowess. What are your plans in the dunes today? I know you traditionally have been more in the rocks than the dunes, but do you feel comfortable going out here?
So I've been out here. Oh, drone fell. I've been out here in the dunes before. I've been practicing. I do a lot of rock crawling, but the Sierras are my backyard, so we do a lot of snow. So a lot of the principles are the same. As long as my tires are still moving, I'm still going. They stop moving, back out of it, and just try not to get your tires dug in. As soon as they get dug in, don't try to get out of it. Just get out the boards and get out.
Yeah, that's a great point, Liz. I hadn't really made that analogy between the snow and the sand, but they're both sort of low traction surfaces. You want to float on top, and like you said, as soon as you start sinking, it's time to get off the gas and try and get out. So, how are you feeling as far as the navigation side of things this morning? It's going to be tricky, right? Chrissie, we just had an interview with, and she was talking about how the fidelity of the maps, that they've actually purposefully made it more difficult for you this year. Yeah. But when it's your first year, how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, they gave us a 50,000 scale map, which was really lacking information. So I'm going to use that to reference off of. I'm going to work off of this more detailed map, which I think offers a better view of everything. And, basically I just kind of want to get into some higher ground and just really orientate myself. Just take a second, let it sit in, and kind of where we are in position to camp, the mountains, and then from there figure out where to go. But I think trading the dunes no different than the kind of a mountain range is what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's the right principle, but we'll find out.
Everyone following along at home will find out too. Yeah, and we've seen a lot of teams teaming up with each other. Is that part of your strategy today as well?
Yeah, they're 20 minutes behind us, but yep.
Yeah, just better safe than sorry. And then that way, we can keep morale out. We're there to dig each other out if there is any issues. Our strategies were really in line as well. So, yeah, I think we'll have a good little team day.
Well, you're next up. We'll let you bump up here in the line and get ready to go and have fun out there. Thank you so much. All right. Now we're heading back to get a little chaos.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here at the Stage 7 start line. This is a live show presented by Lexus, powered by Total Chaos today. My name is Rochelle Croft, and I am here with the lovely Sabrina and Alyssa from Team 205, one of the amazing Kia teams. How's it going, ladies?
It's going well. We made it to day 7. We've got all our tires, all our wheels, all our parts, so we're ready to finish this thing off.
I think we had a good day yesterday. The Enduro at the end, there was a little snag with it, so that changed the energy a tiny bit, but we had some bullseyes on the blacks. She was driving like a champ. So we came in third in the stage yesterday, and hope today we're just going to try and click off as many checkpoints as we can, one by one.
Awesome. Well, thank you for chatting with us this morning. I know the mornings are usually chaotic, but I heard you're last off the line.
No. Chaotic with 35 checkpoints and 2 different maps to try and decide which map to plot on. Not chaotic at all. I love this.
I know this was the only morning where when I reached into the bowl to pull a number, I was like, I want to be first off the line, get all that cool sand, and I pulled last. So I don't know what that says about our luck today.
Dead last. Never been dead last off the line before. I'm like, how is this happening?
Oh man. So, okay, I know last year on Dune Day you guys crushed it. So, are you anticipating that this year? And last year you were also in a Kia. So, how do you think you're going to do today? What's your strategy?
The biggest difference between last year and this year is we're driving an electric vehicle, and so that we don't know much about. And last year there was a lot more sand to warm up to this day, so we were able to really figure out what the car could do. That's been different this year, so today's going to be a little bit of a surprise. So I think our strategy is to ease into it and see what the car's capable of, and then throughout the day, if we've got a full charge, we've got a full tank of gas, and if it can do what we hope it can do, then we start going for those blacks later in the day.
Yeah, if the car stays charged, we feel pretty confident. The Sorrento is a great car, but the electric, it's just something that we haven't experienced much before. So just trying to figure it out. Last year, the Telluride was incredibly capable, so we were able to just go boop, 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 boop through all the dunes. Hoping that's the same this year.
Or not. I hear you may be running instead.
Oh, I've got my running shoes on because it's a dunes day.
I love it. Awesome. So, okay, I like that strategy. So you're going to kind of tiptoe in today, see how the car is feeling, and then you'll know if you can push it or not this afternoon.
Yeah.
I think so.
Take it day by day or checkpoint by checkpoint.
Yeah. So what has surprised you about the car this year? Because I know it is a lot different than the one you had last year. Yeah. Kia's making a big push. This is their second year with you two in the Rebelle Rally. What have you loved about the car this year?
Yesterday. It was the first day that we really started to figure the car out. I'd never driven an electric car, a plug-in hybrid, even on, just to the grocery store. So once we figured out how this car wants to be driven and that you cannot let the charge deplete because it's charging its brain, and if it can't, how does your brain feel when you're depleted, right? And so yesterday was the first day we had a full charge, a full tank of gas, and super challenging driving. And the car climbed some angles and some embankments and some sand that I was shocked. And it was a lot of fun. I think it makes her job easier when I can actually get her to the places we're trying to get to. So yesterday was the most fun day, I think, because it felt like our skill was matching with our ability to drive the car, and the car was sort of matching what we wanted it to do. So hopefully that was a good push into today.
I also think we've never had any issues with fuel ever. We've never had to refuel. There's some places where you can go detour, take an extra 20 minutes off of your time to go put some gas in. I mean, we've had enough gas at the end of every stage to run that stage again, and I'm sure that has to do obviously with the electric as well. Incredible. We could run 3 rallies in this car with the gas mileage that we get on this car.
We should do that. Let's see if your theory's right, Sabrina.
No, thank you. I rescind that statement.
Awesome. And this, just to remind everyone, this is a pre-production model, correct?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah. And the car's not available in the US yet. So there's, something very cool and at the beginning terrifying about getting behind the wheel of a car off-road that No one's really driven off-road. It's not available in the U.S. yet. These were, as I believe, shipped over from South Korea just for this and prepped. And so that's super cool. And we're able to provide them with a lot of intel. But it wasn't like the Telluride where I could call up every journalist who'd had one and say, how did it do it? When he took it up this, So yeah, that's been cool and different for sure from last year.
Well, that has to speak a lot about Kia's just trust in you two as a team to give you this challenge, trust in your driving skills and your navigating skills that you were going to take care of that car. You're going to give them great feedback because the Rebelle is such a good place to throw these vehicles in here, see what they're capable, see what needs to be changed and fixed, and before they come to market. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's an incredible testing ground for sure.
Yeah. So what tires are you running on that?
We are in some
We have Hankook Dynapro ATP2s.
Okay, and you've had
they've been
failures.
great.
No, I mean we've had 2 flat tires unrelated to the rally. We got a screw in our tire at the Hoover Dam. We got a screw in our tire at Tech. In the mechanics area, and then I did pop a tire on the enduro, but we were at speed around a corner and a big orange rock, and if I had it to do over, I would have taken it with the tread, and I think I just tried to avoid it and hit the sidewall, and then I drove for the next 3 kilometers through Titus Canyon trying it at speed and just shredded it. But other than that, they've been awesome. They've been really awesome. Yeah, we were impressed by the tires this year for sure.
Awesome. All right, so we talked about your strategy here for Dune Day. Are you both just feeling good? Do the dunes scare you? Are they just fun for you?
I think as a navigator, you're lying if you say that the dunes are fun. They always scare me every year. I've done this so many times, and I am still very fearful of the dunes and navigating through them.
I mean, that's the only way to stay safe. If you're not scared of them, you're not respecting them, right? And so they are fun. They're a lot of fun to drive. I mean, you know this. You've done it how many times? But if you don't go out there with anxiety and respect for what you're doing, you're going to get in trouble.
Yes, every year I approach the Glamis day. Even when we pull into Glamis the day before, I'm just like, oh, here it goes. It's coming. Tomorrow's the day.
It's Dunes
Let it be
Day.
Saturday already. It's Dunes Day.
This is when teammates here, but also teammates out on the course matter a lot.
Absolutely.
This is where I run a lot. Get out of the car all the time, and this is where I work off that COVID weight that I've put on over the last 2 years. So
it's all right, Sabrina. We're all there. We're all there. We're all with you in that.
I used it to get the breaker bar to get the torqued bolts loose. I had to jump on them. I was like, I've been working on this for 2 years. Move over, skinny Alyssa.
So you mentioned you're running a lot on Dune Day. Why are the navigators out running a lot?
We are running to check the terrain and the course. I have to jump out to spot what the best path is for her, to let her know if it's steep, if it's drivable, if it's flat, just to keep us safe. And then also, since we're not sure yet what this car is going to be able to do in the sand, there is also the option of, if we see the checkpoint and I'm 5 dunes away, she just stays at the top of a dune and I'm running to go and click it off.
We've each run a checkpoint already, and we haven't even gotten to Glamis yet. So,
well, it'll all be worth it at the end of the day, I hope.
Hopefully. Woo!
Awesome. Okay, so what keeps you to? Let's see. Remind me how many times you've done the Rebelle, Sabrina?
This is my 4th Rebelle.
4th Rebelle. And you, Alyssa?
This is my second. Last year with Sabrina, yeah.
Okay.
And then the Gazelle ones, yeah.
All right. Sorry, I got voices in my head here trying to do 5 things at once. Yeah. Matt said to ask you about the Girls Inc. sticker that is on your Kia. What is that all about?
Yeah, so Girls Inc. of Orange County is a very cool nonprofit that works to empower young women, especially into STEM programs. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and empowers girls to be smart, strong, and bold. And so it's all the things that the Rebelle represents. It's all the things that I think we both really embody and try, and that Kia as well. And so Kia partnered with them, and they're the charity of choice for our teams. And so if we were to win the Spirit Award or some of the other awards, donation will go to them, and also Kia's making a donation to Girls Inc.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kia. That's really cool. All right, so last question, and then I'll let you two get on the start line here. What about the Rebelle keeps you coming back? Why do we do this to ourselves?
On day 6 or 7, all of us say, why do we keep doing this? Why are we doing it? And then the day after, the day you leave and you go home and you're around people who have no idea what you just accomplished, you are like, well, I've got to go back next year. I've got to go back, to improve on my own abilities. And I've got to go back to be around all these other incredible women who understand what you've been through. You can, talk about your war stories throughout the day from years past, and they get it. And I come from the acting world. No one understands what the heck I'm doing when I come out to the desert for 2 weeks out of the year every year. They're like, what is this? So it's just nice to be around other people who understand it. And I don't know, and the challenge every year just keeps bringing me back.
Yeah, challenge and the adventure. And I think, similarly in my professional world, this is, I spend a lot of my life writing about and studying and telling the stories of other people who put their heads down and compete and do things, solely for themselves and for an end goal. And so it's nice to be able to step out of that world that's always about other people and just put my head down and compete for us and for, and for yourself, and do something that is a little bit selfish and a little bit just singularly focused for a week, right? And I'm not writing about this. I'm not, this is just for us to come out and try and get better at what we do and prove that we can do this, and it's just a fun adventure with like-minded women, and shut out the world for a week. It's a very cool thing to get to do. It's a privilege for sure.
And every year we learn something new, how to do something new. Last year we learned how to put a sensor on a wheel when the wheel that had the sensor for our ICO went down, or where we had to change the wheel. We learned how to do that on our own. This year we learned how to, also work with the Terra Trip on the sensor, lifting up the car, getting under there. It's just incredible. Yes. Yeah.
Fabrication.
I love
Bear Lake. California.
I'll come check it out. Awesome, ladies. Thank you so much for spending your time with us this morning.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Yeah. Is there anyone you want to say hi to before we go?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Nate. Hi, Charlie. My dogs who I miss the most. No offense. I love you all, but I love my dog very, very much. I miss you, Charlie.
There is a chance my husband is actually watching this right now. So hi, Billy and Gonzo and Hank.
Awesome.
Those are her dogs.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's the fur babies.
Sausages.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. Have a fabulous day. We will all be watching very closely on that tracker.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to see how your Kia does today.
So are we.
You are too. All right. Awesome. I think we've got Harry here on the line with another team, and we will see Sabrina and Alyssa out on the course.
Thank you.
Yes, we are back for Harry on the Line, another segment. And we're here with Team Dirt Hustle. So this is the fourth vehicle that Laura Wanless has competed in. We're going to let them bump up. They don't have a lot of time because they got to get their game faces on. But I'm really curious about how those different, every time it's been a Jeep, but this one in particular is a diesel. We just heard Sabrina talking about range and how that's a factor out here. And I'm curious, so tell me, Laura, how has the diesel worked out for you versus the gasoline-powered vehicles you've had in the past?
Gas is not an issue anymore. It's an ideal vehicle for the rally. Lots of torque and great gas mileage. I love this vehicle for the rally.
Now, I believe this engine is significantly heavier, right, than the gasoline engine. Have you found that to be a factor in the dunes?
No, I was here a couple weeks ago and I cruised them, knock on wood. It hasn't been a factor. We keep this thing light. I have light tires on it and everything on purpose.
Yeah, no, and both of you have been here for 4 years. I mean, the results speak for themselves. You're in the running for the podium. Tight race, kind of that third through sixth. And but you both have a lot of experience out here, and you've been very successful in the dunes in the past. So, Maria, can you share any information for the folks at home as far as your strategy for today?
Maximize your points. Go for things that are a sure thing. Watch your time. Gotta watch those closing times and just be as aggressive as you can.
Right. Well, that's a great advice. And we know you've got to get geared up to go. So we're going to bump back in line, but we're all cheering for you out there.
Thank you, guys.
So behind them, Team 102 Sunset Chasers. These were the first off the line yesterday, so we didn't have an opportunity to talk to them. But another one of our mother and daughter teams. And they're also rookies in addition to being a mother-daughter team. So what's the dynamics with competing with a family member?
Well, you know you're going home with them.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you can't just leave them at the finish line, right? You're going to see what's our next Thanksgiving dinner. You're going to you don't want it to be too awkward.
That's right. And, well, we have a great relationship, so win or lose, we're good with one another. I can't imagine that there's going to be ever anything that gets in between us. So it's been quite the experience. It's been fun.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about how you learned about the rally or what your journey was to get here.
Well, Crystal was the one who discovered the rally, if you will, and she kind of told me that I was going to do it.
Got voluntold.
Yeah, because I know how to use a map and a compass. Well, at least I thought I did until I got here. Still, the theory is right, but boy, it's been a challenge to make all these points and hard to read these topo maps at times. But regardless, we're having a great time and it's fun.
Well, and I think that's the most important thing. I mean, there's a lot of winners out here. You don't have to finish first in order to win at the Rebelle Rally.
Yeah, we're winners. We're winners.
You sure are, and there's a lot of folks at home rooting for you.
With my daughter.
All right, excellent. Well, we'll let you get lined up and get your game face on. Have fun, and we'll see you out in the dunes.
Thank you.
All right, these teams are going for it today. As I said, lots of checkpoints to get, and I really appreciate the rookies, and it's a humbling experience to be out here on the Rebelle Rally, but they all have the attitude that it takes to be successful. So speaking of being successful, Rochelle won this event 2 years ago. Last year finished second. So we're going to head back to her and Matthew so they can tell us a little more about the strategy involved in winning the Rebelle.
Thank you, Harry. It's so good to hear from those teams at the start line. They seem to be ready for the day. They seem to be pretty good energy.
Yeah, Harry's got a lot of good questions for him, getting us the latest information. I'll tell you what I want to know.
Yes.
Is when they let them go from the start line, do they tell which car goes first, or is that like a little 5-foot drag race to see whose nose bounces out there first?
It's totally a drag race.
Laura and Maria just I heard the whoa and looked over and I was like, I guess they're in front.
I could never help myself from pulling off first from the line, even if that was the only thing I won that day.
No, you go first. No, you go first.
No, I'm going first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they are having a good time. I've been watching all the cars. Some are going right, some are going left. And there's one of our Kia teams there, Tana and Verena. They are ones you're going to want to watch today. I keep saying that about a lot of teams, but there's a lot of teams you need to watch out there today.
Yeah, exactly. You got a long Friday of paying attention, hopefully, ahead and following us around. We're going to bring you as much of this as we can. We go back live again at 3 o'clock today for a pretty long finish-up show. We mentioned that before. That's going to be a lot of fun energy. If there is some chance that you have just now discovered the Rebelle Rally and just now landed on this show and you still wonder about it, we're going to tell you about some of those checkpoints when we come back. I think Harry's got someone else to chat with on the line. Harry!
Of course I do. They come to me, Matthew. It makes my job easy. I appreciate it. So we've got teams road less traveled here. They took a couple years off, or just last year off?
Last year.
Just last year. So they are back. This vehicle, total chaos, head to toe. So tell us a little bit, Tiffany, about what parts you have on this and how that helps you in the dunes.
So Rory's probably the better one to talk to because she actually works for Total Chaos. But I've got long travel. We've got the Expedition Series. It's the 2-inch Expedition Series. She's going to laugh at me when I say it wrong. It just gives more articulation. We've got actually better than stock turn radius. What else am I missing?
You might be saved by the bell. I know you got to move up in the start line.
More
So
turn radius all around. It's just definitely better in any tight situation. Just flipping around. Long travel is definitely hard unless you have the Expedition Series, but it's really helped us out because I do make her turn around an awful lot.
Well, we know that you've been successful in the dunes in the past, and I'm sure this year will be no different, so have fun out there. The team right behind them also has Total Chaos suspension on it, the Mad Maxines. So we'll talk to a little bit about them. Good morning, ladies. So this stage has been brought to us by Total Chaos, and I know you have their parts underneath your vehicles. So how have those been working for you this week?
It's been amazing. I literally on one of the trails, I think maybe day 2, was singing their praises. I mean, we know the reputation that they have, but you don't understand it till you're on the parts, out on the trail. Amazing. We're so happy. Yeah.
It's like a magic carpet ride, huh?
It was unbelievable. I mean, this is a heavy truck, and some of those trails were really rough, and it felt amazing. Super smooth.
Comfortable ride.
That's important, especially, out in the dunes here today. And I think all along, fatigue plays a big part in this event, right? I mean, you just don't get a lot of sleep. You're out there all day. So if you're getting beat up, it makes a big difference versus if you have a comfortable ride and you're not too wore out when you get into camp.
Plotting in the car, it makes a big difference too. Then the less bumpy it is, the more accurate I'm going to be.
I hadn't considered that, but that's a really good point. Yeah. Thanks. Well, good luck out there today. What is your plan? Can you share a little bit with us? Are you going to team up with another team? How far have you aired down to?
We've aired down to 14 this morning. We're going to feel it out early. We do have a couple of teams that we're going to link up with this morning. We're going to do what we know that we can safely do. Drive what we can see. Yeah.
I think that's a great philosophy. And, I know we met up on the course yesterday, and I really like your attitude. I appreciate you being out here. And, as I mentioned earlier, there's more than one winner out here. Only one team might get a trophy, but there's a lot of winners as well. And you're certainly them.
Thanks so much.
We love you guys.
Have fun out there today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Back to you, Matthew and Rochelle.
Thank you, Harry. Let's see. Awesome to chat with those teams. Love hearing from those Total Chaos girls. They are always a riot to watch out there in the dunes. I think Glamis is like their backyard.
Yeah, lots of testing and tuning and such with their parts you've got to be able to make it in the sand if you're going to make off-road stuff in the western United States. So it's part of the deal. Touching on what are these teams doing out in the dunes? What have they been doing all week? Well, they've been using often a map and a compass and to try to get around and get to different checkpoints. We're going to give you a quick idea of what that looks like. Our green checkpoints are the easiest to find, and they are staffed. Someone is there. It's a big old green flag. They're worth the most points. Then moving on, our blue checkpoints, harder to find. It could be a flag or a pole. How much harder to find are those?
They can be quite a bit harder, especially if they're a pole. And even the blue flags are a little bit shorter than the big green flags. But those blue poles, if you don't know exactly where you're at on the map, you will drive past those things all day long. They're just really easy to look over.
I think some teams tell me when they get in a hurry or they get lazy, they plot close enough to get to the area, and then they just drive around that area or stand on top of the truck and look for the blue flag. But they don't always know it's going to be a blue flag. It could be the pole, right?
Yeah, and that actually takes more time than just doing it correctly the first time. Do it right the first time. It's going to save you all that time driving around, getting frustrated looking for it.
Gotcha. And then moving on that graphic, you could see the black diamond checkpoints. Those are worth the fewest points, but there are a lot of them in the rally, and they have no pole, no flag. You just go out there, navigate to where you think the middle of it is, and signal your tracker. And then if you're within the radius, the tightest radius, you get full points. And then the further you are away from that radius up to a limit, you get fewer and fewer points. And then what happens if you click outside the limit zone?
Yeah, so those black checkpoints, they're built in what's called a radius. So they kind of give a geofence of how many points each ring is worth. So if you think of a bullseye or like a dartboard, there's different rings that are worth different points. The closer you get to the center, the more points you get. Mm-hmm. And then as the week goes on, they actually they decrease the size of that radius. Mm-hmm. So if maybe you hit something for full points or didn't get a wide miss earlier in the week, now if you try for that and you're not as accurate, you may get 0 points, 1 point. And then the worst that can happen is what's called a wide miss. So if you click out of that radius, that bullseye, then is 10 points.
A wide miss penalty.
Yes, a wide miss penalty. And the reason for doing that, which I really appreciate that they changed the rule on this, is because teams figured out, so when you are hitting your tracker and clicking into a checkpoint, you receive your lat and long coordinates of where you are exactly. So in the first years of the rally, people would click saying they were going for a black checkpoint, but really they were just lost and needing their coordinates to know where they were in the world. So now they said, aha, we'll fix that. You can still do that, but it's going to cost you 10
It's going to
points.
cost you. Yeah, but it might be worth it for you if you can get back on and nail
for
a couple
sure.
checkpoints as a result of giving up 10 points. Cool. So that's
Awesome.
what we're doing. And then if you'd like to follow along, there's an app to download. It's called YB Tracker, and you find it in the App Store for Android or iPhone. You have to go and add the race, which is the Rebelle. It says add races, even though this is not a race. Add event, let's say. It'll be Rebelle Rally 2021. Add that, and you'll be able to click around, and you can see the checkpoints. You at home can see the checkpoints that you want your friend or family member to find. So you know more watching from your computer at home than they know out in the field here, but you get to watch them track through the day. Play with that app a bit, because you can rewind and not fast forward, but you can rewind and then watch the teams as they monkey around the desert.
Yes. So there's this is a little bit of nugget of information I wanted to throw at you for a little trick the competitors used in this area.
Okay.
So way early in the show, there was that big old long drone shot of the Honda Ridgeline as it left the area.
Okay.
And you pointed out the railroad tracks
Yes.
and all the washes there down that road. So all of these washes are actually numbered. We are at wash 23 for base camp.
Yeah.
Now, the maps these girls received do not have those numbered washes on them. But returning competitors have figured out that you can actually go on your map and number those washes. So you can use all those as anchor points to come in and get your checkpoints that are around base camp.
I got it.
So you can say, oh, this checkpoint is right across from wash 12. You can drive down to wash 12, use that as a starting point, and then say, okay, my checkpoint is whatever degrees into those dunes.
Oh, interesting.
Just a little insider tip there.
I got it, and that's a time saver as well.
It's a time saver.
On a day that there are loads of checkpoints out there, and
Yes.
you need every way to save time that is possible.
Yes. So some of them have figured that out. Some of them may use that strategy. And of course, that only works on this side of the dunes. And these are the dunes that are really tricky, hard to drive. It's funny, people think the larger ones are harder to drive, but it's actually the smaller ones.
Mm-hmm.
The big dunes, the really large ones, are very easy to drive because you can get your momentum, you can get a nice rhythm. Where those small ones, it's just like driving through a lot of moguls that you can roll your car on.
Sure, and your decision points are coming faster.
Yes.
If the dunes are soft, sometimes even the small dunes you can easily get stuck in. The big dune, you can look ahead and you make a plan, and you've got several seconds between each move with the car. In the little dunes, it feels like a decision point is coming moment by moment by moment.
Yes.
And if it's soft, it's hard to find a safe place to stop and kind of calm down, recalibrate, and make a new plan. And that's tough on the navigator when the driver's turning all kinds of directions over and over.
It's tough. It is tough. But it is a lot of fun. I will say that. We've been saying how hard it is. It is really fun. It's
a lot
type
of
2 fun is what I like to call it.
It totally is. So I really love the insider information you just gave about using the wash numbering as an anchor point. You future rookies at home, these are one of the tips that you want to be listening to. This is part of your homework for coming and showing up and doing well. And we're going to carry our rookie story onwards. We have 2 teams in the 4-wheel drive class that are rookies that are in the top 10. Samantha and Becky in the Sequoia, and Elizabeth and Allison in the Tacoma. That's teams 152 and 119 that are in their own little battle for winning the rookie prize this year. Let's tell them about socials. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're going to show you how to follow us during the day, and we're going to be back at 3 o'clock.
Yes, we're going to be at that finish line. You are not going to want to miss that. There's so much energy, so much relief when the teams pull into that finish line for the last time. Okay, Rebelle Rally. If you want to follow us on socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Rebelle Rally. Live from stage 7 right there. We are presented by Lexus today, but powered by Total Chaos. And they actually have this. Emily is actually driving SeaBiscuit, that amazing Lexus GX that she's going to be out there buzzing around the dunes on today. It'll be fun to see how that's going. Yes, so we will be here at 3. It's going to be a fun show. It'll be a long show. We can't wait for it. RebelleRally.com/live. You won't want to miss it. Keep an eye on those trackers today and on the scoring. It's going to get shaken up, I have a feeling.
I'm excited. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always surprises on Dunes Day, so I'm looking forward to turning on the radio when we get off the screen here and hear what's happening already.
Let's, everyone.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.